Good afternoon, everyone, and a warm welcome to yet another insightful edition of the Productivity League talk show, powered by V360.ai. I'm absolutely thrilled to have you join us today as we deep dive into productivity insights and strategies. So, the today's topic of discussion is beyond hiring, how data is transforming the employee life cycle. So, we often talk about data and hiring, but today we are zooming out to look at the entire employee journey from onboarding and engagement to the internal mobility, learning and development, and even offboarding. So data is nowadays a very crucial and it's plays very crucial role in shaping not just how we recruit but how we retain, grow them, and support our people or how we manage the entire life cycle of our employees. And to help us to unpack all such topics, all such relevant and the crucial topics, we have joined by four incredible professionals who are not only data savvy, but they are driving the real change in their organizations. First speaker or the guest in the session is Meghavi. Meghavi is a senior HR specialist. She's into employee relationship specialist, certified POS trainer. She's working with ANSI Bycode, and she sharing her expertise on engagement and employee experience. So, welcome, Meghavi. It's a pleasure hosting you today.
Thank you so much, Arshna.
Thank you so much for joining us. Meghavi, I would request if you can talk about your professional journeys, share your experience so far in the HR domain, that would be really helpful for the audience.
Sure. So I'm in this industry since 10 years. I started with recruitment and eventually fall in love with people management, right? So since 7 years, I'm with Anshibite Code, and I have expertise in PMS, OD, L&D. As you have mentioned, I'm POSH trainer, so my interest is into POSH as well, creating a safe environment. And I'm true believer of DEIB. Right. And apart from that, I'm certified PHRI also from HRCI.
Oh, that's wonderful. Thanks for joining us today. Our next speaker in the line is Sarlashka Ganesh. So she is a senior director and head people and culture at Soliness Integrity, who brings the L&D and the onboarding lens to the conversation. So thank you so much, Sarlashka, for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you so much for the introduction, Archana. I got into the people field. I think my interest started when I was in the 10th grade at school. So we had a team of psychologists who had come in, and I really liked the way they dealt with people. They were able to understand. And I think I'm somebody who naturally looks at whenever there are conversations, decoding what is the reason behind the behaviors of people, their thought process, their own aspirations, and all. So my interest in people started back then in 2000, I think 2000, exactly the year 2000, and now it's been about 25 years in the field. I took up psychology in my bachelor's, master's, and my PhD was also in the area of organizational behavior. So I have been very passionate about people's success, and not just from a talent acquisition angle, but also from an angle once they come on board, I want to ensure that people actually thrive on the culture that you're building. And I've realized that there are culture is one of the strongest stickiness factors for folks to stay. So I don't look at, I think traditional HR is already seeing its way out. All of us are looking at more neo-noir HR. I mean, we don't even say HR nowadays, right? If you see the words like people operations, employee experience, these are the things that are seeing the light of the day. And that is something I want to create all-rounded people experiences where people can thrive in the culture that you build and actually bring the best version of themselves. I'm also like much like Meghavi, very much into inclusion, and I think somewhere when we see diversity inclusion, it gets restricted to just gender. I think it goes a lot beyond that, right? If you just look at the psychology of people, right? It talks about introverts, people are extroverts, people who like planned things, people who are okay with chaos. You have to include everything and help people bring themselves as whole to work. So that is something I'm very passionate about and happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Most welcome, and thanks for joining us today. Two more speakers are going to join us soon. So Anisha has joined. Hi, Anisha. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, I'm so sorry I am late. However, I'm working from home. I have a toddler.
Oh,
So yeah, just excuse me for that if he interrupts.
no, no, that's fine, Anisha, and thank you for taking time out. I can understand, being a mother of young kid and working remotely, have a lot of responsibility. So life happens with everybody. So it's a, although I feel that these are the life stages, and we should enjoy doing all such
Yeah,
things.
yeah, definitely. I am not
Yeah,
ready to give up my job. I mean, we have to hear a lot from society, that what is so important about
yeah.
work and all that. But I am someone who is so motivated to work. I just can't, stop recruiting people, is all I can say. I love recruitment. It's been like almost
That's
10 years
wonderful.
into recruitment. Yeah, so even my husband, just to cut you off all for a minute, even my husband is into HR, but we are like completely opposite. All the recruitment comes to me, he take as like of all of the people. So we both work in the same company, Moshi Moshi. Sorry, it was about my introduction. Did I just
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
start
yeah,
it?
yeah, yeah. I was about to tell you this, but yeah, you
Okay,
have
you
started.
start. You
That's
give a
wonderful.
background first. I will take it over.
No, that's fine. Please go on.
Yeah, so basically,
Yeah.
I'm working with Moshi Moshi. I have like 10 plus years experience. Moshi Moshi is a advertising agency. I've joined the company 5.5 years ago. And before that, I worked with all edtech companies into hardcore recruitment. So my job was earlier to do TA myself. Now I have a team of 10 who is across the cities, I would say. The entire TA is being handled by me at Moshi Moshi. But however, I am not a people person. Honestly, people person as in like I can't chase people. Yeah, paper de do, ye de do, wo de do, and hearing people's problem. No, I can't do that. I'm a TA person. I'll give you money. Please work for the company. That's all. So yeah, that's my thing. So me and my husband keep fighting about it because he's into people management and I am into TA. So he's like, yeah, what's the thing you always talk about hiring, and still company look forward for TA because that's the main core objective of agencies, and his role has always been sidelined whenever company have a requirement of, okay, let's do engagements, then he's been called. So yeah, I mean the love for recruitment is very nice.
Yeah, that's wonderful, Anisha. Thanks for joining us. And I also feel that people have the different preferences and different kind of a skill set, and we should enjoy doing
Yeah,
that. Yeah, these are the some inherent qualities we cannot change or adjust
yeah, yeah,
with the
definitely.
suggestion of anybody. Yeah, that's really nice.
So I am that
Thank
person in recruitment. My founder comes just a day ago that we have to close this position in 24 hours, and he trusts that Anisha will do it somehow. So that kind of trust I've built up with my founder.
that's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you so much for joining us. So next speaker in the line is Mr. Venkatesh. Venkatesh is facing some technical glitch. He might join in some time. So to our speakers, thank you for being here and for being open to sharing your knowledge, learning, and even the challenges you have faced along the way. So to everyone tuned in, get ready for the session full of real examples, thoughtful questions, and practical takeaways you can apply in your own people strategy. So let's get started. So my so I'll be taking specific questions. We actually gathered a lot of questions from the pool. People usually or our audience, basically we run a poll and they send the questions, different questions. So I would like to start with Meghavi. So Meghavi, if you can talk about the data insights in the hiring, like we use a lot of tools or the dashboard to track a new employees when they are setting in while hiring, while doing running any recruitment drive. So if you can suggest some kind of a tools or the dashboard, how you are tracking them, how you are working on that particular cycle.
When we are talking about any tools to track them, now we have multiple ATS available, right? It is very easy to filter out according to our JD. So we have been using Kika since years to track the applicants and everything. So when we are talking about culture fit, especially the culture fit, we are using personality test, multiple personality test we have been using so far. We started with one experience like a few years back. We had some incidents where we hired someone depending on their technical skills, and within few weeks we found that they are not good cultural fit. So we go ahead and we implemented one personality test as well. So it gives us good review. It's not like 100%, it's instinct plus the data. So we are implementing that as well.
Yeah, that's the one thing which is very important. Sometimes we see only the skill side. I mean, I have seen in few cases if you are only analyzing the skill set and the cultural fit is not there, then obviously it's very challenging because it is all about the team game. Not the, it, you cannot work as or the contribute as a individual player always. So yeah, that cultural fit is the thing which is actually required. So. Salishka, what is your take? Like, have you used any kind of predictive tools or the data to prevent early exits and attritions? Because nowadays the market is very open. A lot of opportunity people get easily. I mean, a lot of hopping people are looking, um, and obviously the headhunting, the poaching is also ongoing, right? So, what kind of tools what you are using to retain your team members with you for longer duration?
See, I will divide this into two parts, right? So, first part, if you see in much larger companies, right, like say a Fractal or any of them, if you see there's this tool called Infido, which I would highly recommend, which gives you real-time updates on employee engagement, how engaged people are, how much they're enjoying their work through pulse surveys and a lot of data that gets done. Now, many of these tools may not work for smaller companies, which is the second part that I was talking about, startups, right? So I have worked also primarily for a lot of startups which are like size from 12 till the current one, right? So the current one where I'm working, I've scaled it from 45 to 160 folks as of today in the last 1 year. So it's been 3x massive growth. But a lot of the tools that we want are not available. So I think what works, and one of the things which I've learned through my PhD is a lot of times people, the moment you say data, they think of only numbers. It's not true, right? Simple flow walks can give you a lot of data. Just your conversation, the coffee cooler conversations, the water cooler conversations can give you a lot of data on how are people feeling, are they actually enjoying work or not. In fact, last week also one of the employees was saying, I've left my family in Trivandrum, I've come over here, and a lot of things when they pour, we realize, okay, they have certain requirements, and you get a lot of if you ask him, is he enjoying work or not, he really likes his work and everything. But there are things apart from work that also determine whether you want to stay in the company, whether you want to get retained or not. Secondly, one of the things that I think is important is the early engagement, right? So you've onboarded somebody, you've done your culture round and everything. You've onboarded during the first 3 months. We say just 30, 60, 90-day check-in, but instead of making it that choreographed, right? If it can be a lot more organic, where you are just generally you're walking, you're asking folks, you're asking people, others in the team, how this person is gelling, understanding whether this person has found their feet with the role, found their feet with the team. All of these are important metrics that we track. Apart from this, when we do our pulse surveys, we also do our regular employee engagement surveys where we look. And in many of the cases where we found the scores have been lower than say 70% satisfaction, when suppose they are happen to be or on the 9 blocker, suppose they are your top performing folks. Those are the folks I would target to understand what is happening, because when a person leaves the company, it's not just the knowledge they are taking away, they're also taking away a huge chunk of the culture of the company and going. Say I am, we call this in organizational politics, right? Not politics in the bad sense, but say there is a political anchor. There's one person to whom there's a lot of gelling, there's a lot of socializing that is happening within the team. Pulling that person away from the team and say they are leaving the team means a lot of the good part of the team, the cohesiveness goes. It's very difficult to replace that cohesiveness with the new. You can still replace the skill set, very much replaceable, but replacing the feel of that person, the vibe of that person is the part that is very difficult, right? So these are the things, data points that we look at, right? From the pulse surveys, from your onboarding, from your regular one-on-one conversations. Put all that data together, look at the metrics and look at the what do you say, the non-metric data, right? We call this as not just numeric data, but also qualitative data. Look at both and see, is there a gap? Address those gaps. That is what helps with ensuring that the retention happens. In case somebody is looking at leaving, you can prevent that well early on. Of course, there are uncontrollable factors. Say somebody is going to get married. You want to have this conversation, right? Are you looking at moving? Are you looking at, is your potential partner going to move in here? What is the plan and all that? Because that helps you be better prepared. Similarly, I think typically all of us face the attrition post your increment cycles, right? That March, April cycles are going on right now. Very typical. One of the things we do as a practice is we ask them their expectations. And I think one training which we have done well here and at Squadstack where I worked earlier is ensure that we are training people on how their compensation or benchmarking is done itself, right? We ran those sessions to help people understand how am I even valuing you in the company, so that it's very transparent. And then even the increment numbers are very clear, right? If your performance is here, this is the increment you can expect. If your performance is in a particular number, these are the kind of numbers. So there is no discrepancy from the angle of, what am I going to get? You already know this is your rough number. If you think it's very different, come back with market data. We are happy to sit and explore. But you can't just say a random number that comes to your head. So these are data points that we work with, because at the end of the day, people value themselves for something. You have to understand that the final pay that you get, the vibe that you have with your team, the work that you do, all of these are factors that influence whether you want to stay in the company or not. So understand holistically the data before you're going on and having any conversations. This will really help prevent a lot of meaningful, like exits which you want to retain, right? Those that you want to let go, that's a different thing, but at least voluntary exits, especially in the top performing category that you want to retain, I think this helps a lot.
Correct, correct, correct. I mean, yeah, if you are, the communication, the pulse meter, the data-driven performance appraisal, yeah, these are the absolute thing, which can actually, we cannot, I mean, yeah, rightly said by you that, we can reduce certain percentage, yeah, 100%, that's not possible, right? That's a human tendency. A lot of unavoidable circumstances will come up and people would, I mean, switch. But yes, we can reduce that by a certain percentage. That's absolutely correct. So Anisha, my next question is coming up for you. So I would like to know, because you were mentioning while you were giving the introduction that you are so quick and in the hiring. So
Yeah.
Anisha, I would request if you can talk about, what kind of a technology tools you are using in your processes, which is making your life easier, and what tools you have implemented, and what kind of a problem that particular tool solved for you.
So honestly, I have always worked with startups. So tools, or maybe you can say the paid platforms or ATS have always been a major problem, because hiring itself is, expensive for them. I would rather say, for startups precisely I'm talking about. But the reason I've joined the talk show was only because I wanted ideas like how and what other platforms other HRs are using, honestly. So as of now, the companies did not have budget to, honestly, have an ATS in place, or probably have a lot of paid platforms. So what I have been doing, so weekly 10 numbers is what we have been delivering every week, because the trainer comes on Monday and he needs a batch. So that kind of recruitment my team has done. But yes, we have been using all possible free platforms, all possible I mean, I just the sources from where we are hiring. Uh, Website applicants are quite huge, but yes, definitely nothing to say on this, that the tools we are using, honestly, we are not, because I am looking forward for a help here, wherein me and my founder had a discussion that we have to, scale it to a larger level, wherein we have to come up with something wherein HR team is not suffering in terms of that, like company is planning for expansion right now in the current scenario. And he had come up with an idea that we have to automate the HR team, that if any lead needs to expand the team or probably find a replacement, the HR team should not take more than 15 days to find a replacement. And we have like almost 10 to 15 departments in the company. So agencies, especially advertising agencies, have massive attritions. So one person is coming, one is leaving, it's like that. So we have just given a copywriter, another copywriter has resigned. So it's like that. And of course sales is not sales people, so you all are aware, like it's the churning profile already. But yes, definitely I would need to know from you all, like what all platforms or maybe ATS precisely we can use, or hiring tools which we can use to ease the HR pressure or maybe hiring pressure. But yes, definitely hats off to the brands, like AngelList is working out really well, Cutshot is working out really well for hiring. I mean, the free applicants, what they're LinkedIn again, free job posting, and the little bit of money they take for boosting, it works really wonders for us. I mean, that is the only tool I can say here right now which is making my life easier.
Yeah, that's true. I would request Meghavi
But
and
yes,
Salushka
again,
to,
Meghavi and Salaksha, you
yes,
all can
yes, yes.
guide me.
Definitely, definitely. I'll request them to, mention those platform and we'll have a discussion. But Anisha, what is Anisha's mantra for quick success? Because you said that, you rapidly, the follow the things and you close the things very, very soon. Even if, one day you have to hire. We all would like to learn that skill. I mean, because that is a something, recruitment is a not a one day job. It takes a lot of time, and if you are able to close it in a one day, that's absolutely amazing. So if you can talk about those mantra, then definitely it will work a lot of people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a mantra. I mean, there are talented people sitting around in the show. But yeah, see, my point is, see, what I look forward is just the focus. Honestly, my team members, the interns who joined, and honestly, I've been working with interns all 5 years. I have joined Moshi Moshi when it was 20 people team. Half of them were intern. Now we are almost 200, and attrition number, if you will count, it's all more than 2,000 in 5 years. So you know of course there are interns, and people who have done internship with Moshi Moshi, a lot of people, like, honestly it's not a number to brag about, but monthly the number of people we hire is 30, and the people who are leaving is almost 15. So that is the churning ratio at advertising agencies. Yes, that's how it is. And when we hire recruiters in companies from competitors, and everybody have the same story to share. So copywriters, designers, they are very creative people. They don't like to work in a discipline area. When you call them 9 to 5, they are not people who will come to 9 to 5. They are not people who will come on Saturdays. We have alternate Saturdays working. So these are the difficulties what we face in general scenario. But again, coming back to the topic, my mantra is just, yeah, like, stay focused. That just keep in mind, I as a lead know that actively we are working on 12 platforms. So is the job live on all 12 platforms? How actively we are calling? So team, what they does is, okay, just CVs, okay, sure, and there they just let go the CV, okay, reject kar deta hai. So again, then the other position is coming again, they're posting and doing this. So my point is, my mantra is, again, since I am also contributing in TA apart from having a team myself, so I keep an eye on each and every profile and upcoming roles, because I know that agency have, let's say, 50 roles open, like in all we have 50 roles. So I have to keep that profile in the pipeline. If not today, tomorrow this person will leave, or maybe we have to hire this person. So that sort of activeness should be there in your mind, that if tomorrow this position open, then again you will go posting, do the posting, and again we have to follow it from the scratch. I'm sure that ATSs would already been helping in keeping the data track. But yeah, for me, somebody who is doing things on Excel, on the platforms itself, like LinkedIn and like Updaz, whatever, it's honestly, it's not easy. So why my founder comes to me, yaar, matlab rato raat hiring ho jayega, for him it's like that. He and I sat back then, like, when I was single-handedly handling Moshi Moshi, I worked alone for 2.5 years. And we used to sit till 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and making sure the offer is going that day itself. So it's just that the dedication and that eagle eye is what I can say. That your eye should be sharp, that this is what we would be looking at. So yeah, call kar lo, kahin na kahin kaam aa hi jayega. It's like that.
Yeah, definitely. So if you have that particular database with you, definitely if you're calling and summarizing the data somewhere, you have the skill set with you, then obviously uh, call Karlo, that will work work with you, right?
But
Anyone
again,
or any
mantra would
system
be
would
just the
provide
passion, yeah. Honestly, not everybody enjoys
it.
recruitment. Recruitment is something which comes from the passion. It's not a easy job that you ending up calling 100 people in a
Correct.
day. I have, honestly telling you, I've done 250 calls in a day constantly 1.5 years. So that kind of
Mhm.
passion I have, and it's not something I'm ended up tiring. One, just to share an example for this, I have called for a I have Saturday I had Saturday Sunday off in my previous company, and I used to do drives on weekends, and bulk of the entire office is empty and I am doing drives. So the churn is the pipeline is ready for Monday. The entire panel is just having rounds and I'm chilling. So these kind of passion is something which I can say is a mantra for me. And then again,
Yeah,
setting up a
that's
drive
a
on coming
that's
weekends.
yeah.
Hmm.
So if you're in any profession, if the passion is there, if you
Yeah.
make your passion as your profession, then obviously that will help. So Salashka, you were adding something on her request. If you would like to
So
say the
I
same
said,
thing,
see,
Salashka.
there's this new product called Kula. I don't know how many of you think that's specifically for the end-to-end journey of the candidate, right? And it gives you not just helps you to engage with the candidates. It's not just an ATS. It's like a banger product. But other than that, I mean, we've tried Keka Hire, we've tried BreezyHR. The regular one will give you like a Kanban or a Jira board, which at least bare minimum helps you organize the data. One, and if there are comments by your the panel members, right? Mega, we can also pitch in over here. If there are comments by your panel members, so you have three panelists, ideally ensure that, for example, as a recruiter, when I have hired, especially I'm in a sector right now in robotics where hiring in the if we have business to government sales, it's called B2G. The number of people in the market itself are very less, right? So it takes the hiring cycles are far longer, but at least keeping the candidates engaged throughout the cycle is what has helped. And technology can come and use over there, right? Just following up the candidates, ensuring that you've set, for example, take being able to set up things simple. I can tell you, if I have a tool that is allowing me to set reminders to candidates every 3 days or 4 days, I don't have to manually do that, right? That's a simple thing that is solved by a technology. One. Secondly, similarly, if there's a panel member, I have added my detailed notes over there as a recruiter, why I think this candidate will be a fit for a particular role. Then when the next panelist has gone in, they should have my notes, they should have the next panelist notes and the activity by the candidate, so that the third person is not going at that time, fishing for the resume, getting what is the CTC data, what is the notice, all that should be available. So you just use technology to make it easier, much more streamlined, so that you're not sitting and wasting time on the mundane activities, which and doing things like Anisha said, which only a human being can do, right? The rapport building, we can't expect AI to do it for you. Or ChatGPT cannot
Yeah,
do the
yeah,
rapport building. You'll
definitely.
have to sit and do it on your own. So those are the things I would want to focus on, because that only as a human being only I can do it, or my team of recruiters can do it. Meghavi, please add your thoughts here as well.
I agree with you totally. Like the ATS I told you about the cake, right? It's very simple in that way. When we are opening the profile, everything we are getting in the one screen, whether it's their feedback, our comments, technical interviewers' comments, everything is on the one page. So it is very easy to find the things there. So it will help you out.
Keka is what you guys are
Definitely.
suggesting.
No, Keka or any see, Keka, it depends. If you're using the full HRMS, you might as well use. See, simple things. Even Manatal is another product. We were exploring People Hum as well. See, the point is when I'm moving them from say one stage to shortlisted or not. See, every time you can't keep communicating to the candidate, you've got selected, you've got rejected,
I
you've
know,
moved to
I
the next
know,
round.
I know.
See, the
That
point
is
is just
literally
setting up
time
such that
wasting.
if you're moving them from one stage to the next stage, there's a trigger automatically. The candidate gets, oh, you moved to the shortlisted thing.
We have
So
we
Then
have
why
that
not
tried
much.
switch it
Odo ka free version in between, but again,
Urdu, I wouldn't recommend. No, People Hum is good. Manatal is good. Any of these are good.
I think something choose a ATS which has the automated workflow.
yes,
Right.
absolutely.
So I can just give you few tools that you can try are People Hum, Manatal, BreezyHR. These are things that you can try. They have the boards where the moment you move from one stage to another, there's a notification going to the candidate. So you are not, and if they are not, if they are rejected, right, especially at the screening stage, at least you have certain what do you say, templates which you can just send out and say this is a reason for the rejection. So it's not going out as okay, you just got selected or didn't get. At least there's a
I
clear
get
reason. Is it that they didn't meet the basic qualification? Is it that their experience level was very low? Is it that their profile was not relevant because you were looking for ABC? Those are things that can get communicated in an automatic fashion. At least it builds your brand better than kind of
Yes, yes,
not
absolutely. See,
knowing.
the founder had also come up with an idea that we need it now because, yeah, see, the company is growing, and the idea is to, automate everything and not just calling people. Yeah, that's you shortlisted for first round, second round is lined up at so and so thing. So even yeah, see, we can't do anything until
Anisha,
unless it
actually,
comes from the
what I feel
founder.
that a lot of sorry, Anisha, to interrupt you. It's like
Hmm.
am I audible?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, you
it's
are.
like lot of tools are there. Even you can opt for any freemium, and it's about the person liking what what actually suits your need, basically, right?
Hmm.
So
No,
Meghavi,
I
my
know, but
next
I
question
don't
is
have, so many HR
all
connects
right.
that I have already a list of, things. So that's why I was just trying to understand their experiences. I had
Definitely,
experienced Odo,
definitely.
as I was mentioning. It was helping
All
out, but
right.
since it was, yeah,
So, Anisha, you can connect with Meghavi and Salashka offline. That will be more helpful,
I
I
think
guess.
I should
So
have, I should
let's move
definitely.
ahead. Let's move ahead. So,
Yeah, please.
Meghavi, I would request what are the kind of a rotational strategy you are using, any tools if you are using that, how you are engaging your people, and one more thing. Sometime when people are digitally connected, they are sitting apart. They are maybe working from the different location. What is the one thing which comes up and what's the one thing which brings the human touch, right?
So
How
when
you ensure that?
Sure. When we are talking about someone who is, continents apart, it's like a remote or hybrid. When we are talking about hybrid or remote employees, no, it's kind of long-term relationship, multiple long-term relationship at a time. So it's very difficult to manage when it comes to long-term relationship. But yes, there are some tools called like something like Teams, pulses available there. You can engage them. We have few remote employees as well. So what we have been doing since long is we have multiple circles available on Teams. Circles kind of, we have something called as Swasthya Synergy. We have something called as Readers Club, Netflix and Chill, right? So they can engage with that clubs. They'll share their views on that. So when we are talking about this kind of clubs, they won't be interacting with just their teams. Because when we are talking about remote employees, they are majorly only in touch with them teams, not the cross-function collaboration is not going on, right? So when we are looking forward for cross-functional, we are having that circle, so they can connect with other team members as well easily. Apart from that, when we are talking about specifically engagement, team has multiple reward system, recognition system as well. We can give shout out on their small achievements and all. So this way, when we are having a remote employees, giving them small achievement, a shout out to their small achievement is very important. They feel they are being heard, their visibility will increase, right? So this will help them to get connected. Apart from that, once in a while, chai break or having a lunch remotely, like I will be having lunch here, you will be having lunch there, together, and we will be chatting something or the other. So this way we can connect, we can keep them engaged.
Yeah, that's a wonderful idea. I mean, very, very innovative one when you have a free time. Sometimes this happens. I mean, maybe in the hybrid when your buddy is actually is at home and you're working from office. Sometimes people do that, like live call or live chat. They initiate and then having this next together and enjoying the time
Cover
if they're
together.
missing. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful idea. Yeah. So, Salishka, at the time of leaving, sometime people give very good feedback. That at the time of offboarding. Few people are having the mindset of leaving. They will say everything yes, 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 no suggestion. But few people are genuinely they'll take the offboarding process. They will actually give a lot of insights to the company. So my question would be, what insights have you uncovered from exit interviews or the offboarding feedback, and how you implemented that?
So, see, like you said, there are different types of people who give you the exit feedback, and I've been conducting quite a few of those in my earlier organizations. Here, Touchwood, the scaling has been great, and our attrition has been about 3% overall at the max, when our growth from 45 to 150, and that too in an industry like robotics manufacturing, where we have a lot of things. So, I'll tell you about my earlier experiences. See, some set of people you need to have established those relationships before. If you can't suddenly prop up during their exit conversations and say, hey, hi, I'm the people person here, you connect with me. Unless you've already established those connections, they will not open up to you and tell you why they are exiting. One. Secondly, your presence should have been there at the company throughout the time that they were there, right? It's not that, and in most of the good scenarios, right, where I have found, I know the person is leaving before they have probably even come up and spoken to me, right? Simple things like you find during your flow walk, somebody was very engaged and very up during the meetings. You find that person has become quieter. You have the data from your pulse survey, from your employee engagement surveys. You understand that somebody is at, having not even 50% satisfaction with the thing. You have delved into the reason and possibly already spoken to those people. So some of the things that typically come up are that this, just 1 second. Okay. Some of the things that typically come up are that they are unhappy with the pay, which typically happens during the March, April, or October cycles, which is a very common reason. Some of the more uncommon reasons are they say that, listen, I have lost the visibility of what I am doing. Right, this is something that props up, and while there are enough tools that will give you all this, unless you've gone into those in-depth conversations to speak to the people, you will not understand why they want to leave. So they say that, I'm not able to understand what I'm contributing to in the larger picture. Earlier, especially it happens at high growth startups, right? When you were a size of say 45, you're very close knit, you know everybody else out there. But when you've grown so fast, suddenly you feel like so many people have come and I don't even understand what I'm contributing to the company. People want that visibility. They want to know that I'm actually doing good work today. How is the work I'm doing today impacting the larger company? That is something. Third, they feel that the touch with the reporting manager is not great. Very typical. I mean, people say, right, that people don't leave companies, they actually leave your managers. That is also something that we've seen common, and we address it when we do our first time manager training and even when we do our refresher manager trainings. This is something that can be addressed. Fourth, people is where you don't have any control. Like there are personal factors, like somebody is getting married, and very typically somebody says that I've been here for more than 4 years, I've kind of learned everything. Learning curve stagnating is a very, very common reason why people want to leave. And I've generally been that person who tells them that, hey, listen, if you want to leave, you don't have to feel guilty about it. To the extent we had drafted letters, right? When people are leaving, we had letters drafted by their reporting managers. We sent some small videos to their family members, thanking them that they've actually spent the 3 years here. And this has actually helped us a lot, because what happens in many of these cases, they say, hey, listen, I can give you a referral of somebody else who would be good with this position. So, which means I am increasing the employer branding. At the same time, I'm ensuring that the backfilling is getting done much earlier rather than waiting for the person. See, the moment the person is suggesting somebody as they've been there in their shoes, they understand what are the requirements. The chances the person coming in will be a good culture fit, will be a good technical fit are far far higher. So these are things that have helped me to ensure that it's, again, when we just say data technology, I think it's data at the end of the day has always been there. It is about the human being who is using the data and putting it in such a manner that the data is just a leverage at the end of the day. Like every time they're saying ChatGPT has come in, AI has come in, it cannot replace me as a human being, right? Then I would have, I mean, it's very easy to say I can have a mother, sister, brother getting created by AI. That's not going to happen. You need real human beings at the end of the day, but you should understand where your role as a human being come in and ensure that technology is getting leverage for the rest of it. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, definitely. And that's a wonderful idea where you people are sharing the very good videos, the positive memories, to the family members also. So this is a thing that if the exit is smooth, then obviously any time if you need that particular employee, you can call them and they are ready to help the organization. That and they are, I mean that obviously that shows that your doors are always open for them. So if that there is a smooth exit, yeah, so definitely that these are the some strategy which
I will
actually
give
uh,
sorry, I will just give one thing of not one thing, there's quite few examples of not smooth exits. In fact, we had a salesperson, we wanted to kind of let them go, right? Because the
mhm.
person was not doing a great job. I think the issue there was that the communication was not great between the teams, it was still growing. As a culture fit, they found themselves not a fit, right? The pace at which a startup operates, not everybody is comfortable with it. We had, it was a very tough conversation, but I think one thing I've always believed in is I don't shy away from tough conversations. I say, come crash it threadbare. At the end of the day, we can see you're not happy. We are also not happy. What's the use of both of us coming together in negative, negative? It's not like negative, negative will make it positive in this case, right? It's going to become even worse. We tell them that if you feel you're not a fit, fine. Let us see how we can make the at least exit smooth, right? It's like ensuring. अगर divorce का decision हो ही गया है, at least let us make it, a compatible divorce. Let's not kind of sour the relationship, and we'll try to help you try to find a new thing, and you also let us know. So I think those are things. Yes, I will say that even in my career I've seen some exits which are completely sour. They say we don't want anything to do. Few of them have just dropped off and say, you relieve me tomorrow or not, I don't care, I'm not going to come and work. There's only so much you can do. I think what you can control, you control. What you can't control, you accept and move on. That is the easiest thing to do, rather than trying to fight against. Because the idea is not that, because today you have people going and posting all sort of reviews on Glassdoor, Ambition Box, and you want to minimize the damage to the company at the end of the day. Ensure that the damage to the employees also. Balancing out both is always a tightrope walk. I think as people persons, it's something that needs to be there naturally with you. That is the only solution.
Definitely, definitely. So, Meghavi, I would also request you to add here that what are the top metrics or the KPIs you never miss when it comes to the employee experience? So, if you can talk more about this, then obviously it will be helpful.
When we are talking about the metrics, employee engagement, we have Pulse, the Kika offer Pulse, right? So we check their engagement, how happy they are, how satisfied they are with their team leads. Majorly, when there is a dissatisfaction coming up, apart from pay, there will be always the management, like how the reporting managers are behaving with them, how they are handling with them, and everything, right? So this also a very important metrics when it comes to engagement, right? It will reflect how your leads are doing with your employees. So this is very important.
Yeah, definitely. And Anisha, I would request you also to add on here that, I mean, what do you think? I mean, whenever you are doing any recruitment, so what is the most useful thing in making the onboarding more personalized and smooth?
So, see, first thing I would say, I have honestly not worked with bigger companies. I can say about the startups, see, selling the story always helps, in recruitment. So, CTC again, we gonna pay what they're asking, utna to, that is the basic. But apart from that, what is the company's journey? And nowadays, even brands are doing that for selling the products, selling the stories rather than pushing them here what cities you're expecting, we will give you more than that. The idea is not to just meet the CTC expectations, however on board with the company's culture, that you want this, we are providing this. In terms of the culture, let's say we at Moshi Moshi are very young culture and very creative people. However, if you see the other agencies out there, the culture will remain same, but the kind of story we have been building, the kind of people we have around, all the kids, youngster, and around 28 to 29 years of age, they would want to come and experience that creativity at Moshi Moshi. And the kind of work we all are doing with the brand, so story is very important when you're selling a brand for recruitment as well. I mean, of course we are selling brands, right? when it comes to the recruitment. So yeah, definitely telling them the right story, aligning them like how we can add value in your life rather than just hiring a person from a
Correct,
direct
correct,
objective that you will come here and do
correct.
the job. No. So what
Yeah,
add-on
that
we will
employ.
be doing in your lives, in your portfolio, resume, everything matters a lot, that we how we can help you in your career.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, employer branding plays a crucial role. I mean, if the employer branding is set, then obviously people love to join work with that particular organization. So
Yeah,
at the
definitely.
end, I would request if I mean, three of you can give the suggestions or talk more about what are the early warning signs of disengagement in your team and how we can resolve that. This is a very crucial topic, and obviously that will help a lot of people. So, quickly, if you all can give your inputs here.
Let me start here. In that case, when we are talking about early disengagement, right? How to identify it. Uh, HRs are famous for their rangolis and fun Fridays, right? So when someone has started disengagement, you'll see sign in that fun Fridays itself, right? They'll start avoiding as much as possible. First of all, for me, it is like we work on our instinct, right? We work on their how they look at us, how they talk with us, right? So when I feel when they are avoiding the eye contact with me, they have started very much started, or something that is going on in their mind, which may convert into disengagement later on.
I
So this
agree
is
with her. That's the first sign wherein, the first Fun Friday is always, packed with the employees. And slowly and gradually, you see the entire team is vanishing. And then the HRBP comes up, okay, this is not working. Let's do something else. Let's call a vendor from outside. So HRBP's job is to honestly just figure out something new. And then seeing the team vanishing and the disappointment later is very bad.
Salishka,
I think
yeah.
apart from I think apart from just the discipline, we call these as contextual behaviors, right? If you've had people who were, see, generally you look at the signs of an engaged employee, right? You can clearly see that they're so involved, they're bringing in new ideas to the team, they're giving new suggestions. Whenever we've had the team, and this is something we actively try to participate in from a people angle, right? So whenever there's a team review, right, and we ask them to do this at least every month, sit, what is it that you are excited about work, what is it? If you're finding some people are not contributing there, then that is something you would want. Because see, at least things like Fun Fridays or like the Rangolis or whatever that else that you do, people always have. It's not a mandatory thing, right? And some people are comfortable, some people are not comfortable. It's fine. That's okay with it. But things like for your work, right? Giving ideas for the next year's thing, brainstorming, looking at participation in your hackathons that you might be conducting, and looking at generally you will find those Entu Patani people who will come in and you'll suddenly see that those folks are dwindling. That is where we would have issues. One. Secondly, we touch base with the managers also and ask them, how engaged do you think your team members are? Because at the end of the day, as a people person, I can't touch base with 150 people all at the same time, right? Even with a team, it's not possible. But day in and day out, it's the reporting managers who are working with the team. So we ask them, how do you think your team is doing? Do you feel everybody's engaged? Do you feel you're getting new ideas from your team members? They open up and they tell us, hey, I think this person, I don't know, he was doing very well earlier or she was doing very well earlier, but something, is there an issue? Sometimes it has come out that there is an engagement issue. Sometimes there is a personal thing that is going on also due to which people are not able to. So we at least go and solve for problems wherever we can. Those are other things that we look at. Another thing is also during your town halls, right? When town halls, we look at folks who come in and give a lot of suggestions on what's working, what's not working. If you look at those numbers, also you will have an answer. Overall, in your town hall, if you see the engagement is going down, that is also a red sign for me, because that is the time when most people, especially during your Ask Me Anything sessions, people want to ask all sort of questions. If you find that the engagement is generally going down, that's the time I want to address, not at an individual level, but an org level. I realize something is going wrong. So that is, and we throw it out right when we say, hey, looks like the thing, is there something that we can do better? people start jumping in after that. That actually boosts the engagement. The moment from the management side you're asking, is there an issue? Can we do something to fix it? They're like, okay, at least there is some hope that my problem will be solved. And that is the time people want to jump in. That is something I've seen work very, very well. Right. And we have those sessions, even we do outreach from our end also as people persons. We outreach and we say, hey, listen, we want to increase the engagement for your team. What are the ideas? Can you pitch in? Those are the things that we try to do to ensure. And when you find people who were contributing earlier not contributing now, that is your that is your that is your thread to take up and say, okay, what is happening.
Yeah,
Skip
definitely. A
meeting
lot of good
also
tips.
helps here sometimes. Skip meetings
So
when you connect directly with the team members.
skip,
So
yes,
even then they open up if it is about the manager as well.
yeah, skip
Correct. So
level
a lot of
meeting.
signs, yeah. So a lot of signs are there, and definitely, I mean, if you are able to timely understand those signs, then obviously it can be helpful for the organization. Otherwise, when somebody is with the exit mindset, then obviously they spread very bad words about their experience to the company. Although uh, they might have not shared with HR, or they felt something for them, and if it is not shared, then obviously nobody will be able to resolve that, those particular kind of a challenges.
See, I
So
think
that exit mindset is something which is alarm. Yeah,
one small thing, I think everybody heard of this big resignation. Everybody was aware of it a couple of years ago during this one.
correct,
I've
correct,
always seen that the resignation is the last step. The checkout mentally has happened probably 2 months before. So if you didn't catch the thread in the 2 months, there's nothing you can do now after the resignation has happened. I mean, I mean, it's like somebody's
You can
already
only
checked out. They
match the
probably
offer if you really want the candidate. That's all.
even if you match the offer, most of them are not. Even if you forget match the offer, even if you increase, they're not, because see, they're
correct,
not engaged. Is it? And today, a lot of people, I'm saying, see, especially I think the COVID increased the price points at which people are coming so much that today
Yeah,
people for 2-3 lakhs they would rather have better work-life balance, better engagement,
mind
rather
space.
than
Hmm.
actually choose it. Yes, better mind space rather than choose a job, for that extra 2-3 lakhs. Very few people are
Especially,
coming in with those kind of.
especially with Gen Zs, it's not only about offer
Absolutely.
anymore.
It
I
is
agree.
not
They
about the
are
pay. Yes.
playing on a whole different league nowadays.
See, they want meaningful work. They want, and these are folks who want, they want freelance flexibility, but full time stability and whatnots, everything together, which is impossible combinations. But I think, like Meghavi rightly pointed out, I think you have to look at the needs of different kinds of individuals. And you say diversity, I think generations is another huge diverse thing, right? What people want who are born in the 80s, who are born in the 90s, who are born in 2000s are very, very different. You need to be able to cater to the specific needs.
correct, correct. So thank you so much. Thank you so much to all the speakers for an
Thank
incredible
you.
session. We have just journeyed through the entire life cycle, I would say, and seen how data can be, the compass guiding every HR decision, whether it's a big or a small. So here are certain takeaways: that hiring is no longer a guessing game. Engagement is about listening, not just surviving. And retention start with development, and L&D is now proactive, not reactive. So to all the brilliant speakers, thank you for your time, uh, transparency, and the thought leadership. So thank you so much for you people have accepted the invitation and very short notice and joined today's talk show. We are, I mean, it is really the pleasure of all ours that we enjoy. We enjoy talking to you. Our audience also got a lot of good insights from all three of you. So thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
having me.
And to everyone watching, thank you for tuning in. If you would like to revisit the session or share it with others, you can, go to our LinkedIn page. And this is your, at the end, this is your host from E360.ai, Archana, is signing off for the day. So until next time, stay curious, stay data informed, and as always, stay productive. So thank you, everyone. Bye bye. Take care.